All right, very different kind of video. Well, not really, but different background. We are currently not in the Yee-mobile, unfortunately, but eventually we will get back to the Yee-mobile. But I'm making this video to just talk to you guys about my past and tell you guys and to let you guys know that I've experienced some of the same things that you could have possibly experienced, and if not worse. And I just want you guys to not only just get information from me, man, but just know that I'm a person like you are, and I've gone through things, and I struggle, still do struggle with certain things. And today I'm gonna just be talking about how the gym saved me from ending everything. And when I say this, when I say this, I genuinely mean like I was throwing everything away, and I was gonna end my life, and I felt like that's what I wanted to do. So I know you guys, if you've been watching for a while, you probably know. But depending on how much storage I have on my camera, this might be a very long video, so brace yourself for that. This isn't going to be one of those videos where I'm jumping off the walls, adding captions, adding music in the background to grasp some sort of attention span. Because honestly, man, if you guys rock with me for me, perfect. If you don't, that's fine too. But I know there's going to be somebody out there that can benefit from this. But let me stop introducing the video and start actually talking about it. So, growing up, I was the smallest guy everywhere. You know, in school, my family, really around everyone. I was about 4'11", 90 pounds in high school, and like super small. And this goes back before high school, but I guess we could start it there because it's been so long, man. I might mess some of the timeline up, but I can give you guys the biggest pieces. So, I was already down dealing with stuff that you normally deal with, just general struggles in life. I didn't really have my dad in my life either until, I got older. So I had a lot of built up anger from not having my dad in my life, and I didn't really know why. And along with me being smaller and angry, I developed like a Napoleon complex in, let's say, like middle school, and I grew out of it more as far as high school. But like it was bad, man. Like I had stabbed some kid in fourth grade because he called me a midget, and that's completely irrelevant. But I just thought I would tell you guys that I didn't hurt him. He had a coat on. Don't worry about it. I didn't like pierce him or anything. I tried to, but I didn't. Like I was too small to. Anyway, um, let's go to high school, man. High school is when everything really started crashing down, or around that time. Like I said, I might mess the time frame up, but there was a lot of stuff going on in my life, man. I was already really depressed and dealing with self hatred, and as I grew up, I became more self aware and more aware of my hatred for myself. And you know, the people around me didn't help with that at all. They made it worse. Everywhere I would go, I would get comments. People would make these jokes, push me around. No one took me seriously. Um, at the time, I cared about getting attention from girls, and I wasn't getting that. And it put me in a position where I was just like, why me? Why do I have to be the smallest guy around? Why do I have to be insecure about my body? Why do I have to be the shortest guy in the room? Why is everybody else so much bigger and stronger than me and more confident than me? And why am I the way that I am? And I thought like this for a very long time. And, it only got worse as I got older, like I said. You know, kids in high school, kids in general are just not the nicest, and people were just making comments about my body, my teeth at the time, my weight, everything, man. And I got so insecure and so down on myself that the only thing that I felt like I could do was cover it up and act like it didn't bother me. So this caused me to stuff away a lot of my feelings, stuff away a lot of the sadness that I felt in. at the time I felt like it would make me weak to show people that I was affected by this. So I felt like I had no one to go to. It would cover up my body with hoodies. I didn't want people to see how skinny my arms were. I didn't want people to view me the way that I viewed myself. And this lasted for a very, very long time. And it's kind of wild for me to think about it now because, I lived like this for years, and I just kept spiraling down more and more, dealing with random things like just general stress with school. And, I had a house fire and relocating and dealing with a lot of stuff at home. And it was just a lot of stress. And, the bullying and the self hatred definitely didn't help with that. And I eventually got to a point to where I was just so fed up with everything, man. I was spiraling down to the point to where I was like hold everything in and cry myself to sleep every night. And I would listen to depressing music because it made me feel less alone. Like I listened to X a lot, like religiously, pretty much. And like if I showed you guys my SoundCloud from back then, you'd be like, man, what's up with this guy? But listen to a lot of depressive music, watched a ton of depressive content, and I just was keeping myself in this hole without me even realizing it. And it felt like at the time that it was the only thing I could do because I thought that I was just stuck. I thought that I was gonna be the way that I was forever. And I hated that thought, you know. I hated the thought that I was gonna have to deal with people not taking me seriously and me not liking myself and everything. I just thought that I was just stuck. And this made it worse because then I got to a point to where I was hopeless. Like I said, I was in a position to where I thought, man, I'm stuck like this. And there's nothing that I can do to get out of it. And that thought alone made the depression way worse. And it made me feel as if there was no hope for me. There was literally nothing that I can do. And I'm just stuck in this body that I hate. I'm stuck being this person that people just treat like a joke. And people didn't truly value who I genuinely was. So I had to put on this mask of being this secure or confident person. And, I compensated for a lot of the stuff that I lacked by, you know, just masking it and acting like everything was fine. And just made everything worse. And literally everything made everything worse, man. And um so I was dealing with that. And I was dealing with that for a long time. And it got worse. And it got worse. And eventually I was so fed up with all of it, the self-hatred, the stress, the bullying, the covering everything up, wearing the mask all day, that I was just done. I was ready to get out of here, man, because I felt like in that moment, I genuinely felt like the world would be a better place, or that the world would not be affected, or people would actually benefit if I were to just kill myself. And that's the position that I was in. And I genuinely thought that for so long. I thought my family would be better off because at the time, my family wasn't doing the best financially. And, obviously things are much better now. But at the time, my family wasn't doing great financially. And I just felt like this leech, this waste of space, just someone that was worthless. And I genuinely felt like people would be better off, or the world would be better off if I was if I was to just end my life. And then people wouldn't have to deal with me anymore. My mom wouldn't have to stress about, providing for me anymore, and I wouldn't have to feel the pain that I felt anymore. And that's how I felt for years. And it's so sad to think that, because it's like, man, that's where I was living I was in that mental space for years, man. And it's just so sad to know that I was I was just I was just some kid who was tired of suffering. I was just some kid that was trapped in the cycle of self-hatred. And I was just someone that wanted to escape pain that I felt. And that was the only way I felt like I could, was to just die. And it's sad for me to say, and it hits me the most now because I don't really think about this much anymore, because I'm obviously in a much better spot. But it hurts me to know that I genuinely felt like the world would benefit if I was gone. And I covered it up. I would laugh and smile at school. I would act like everything was okay. Um, in reality, someone's backing up. I don't know if they're gonna hit the car. In reality, it wasn't any. It was the opposite, man. Like I was suffering. I was torturing myself mentally. Sorry, somebody is like backing up and they're a little close to the car. But yeah, man, I was stuck in this place for a very, very, very long time, and I genuinely felt like I couldn't get out of it. My only way out was to resort to that. And you know, was dealing with passive suicidal ideology for a while. And fast forward a couple of years, I got into the gym and things got a bit better. I got a lot more confident, way more confident. I wasn't ashamed of my body anymore. And for a while, I was doing great. For a very long time, I was doing great. But then I got into bad habits. It got worse, like around the time I went into college. So I was dealing with this for years, and it got better. And I kept making more and more progress year by year. And I was happy with it. But like I said, eventually I got into um some bad stuff. I started making the most money I ever made online, and I started using drugs and being in college. Being in that environment, it drained me. Right, I was in a position to where I didn't hate myself, but started to hate who I was becoming. And despite that, I kept doing the things that was bringing me closer to becoming the worst version of myself, and I hated that. And I was in an environment to where I felt stuck again. I felt trapped again, and that caused me to spiral down, same way I did beforehand. And this is why I always say it's deeper than just the physique. It's deeper than just the gym. It's more than just lifting weights. It's more than just being big and having a great physique, because at the end of the day, if you're doing the things that's bringing you away from the person that you should become, you're going to be in the same spot. So yeah, I had this great physique, but I was becoming someone that I hated. I was doing drugs every day. I was going out to parties. I threw away a relationship. Thank God that I'm able to be with her now. But man, just literally just threw away the most amazing girl that I've ever met in my life, because I was spiraling down so much, and it was my fault. I was choosing to do the drugs. I was choosing to go to parties. I was choosing to stay in the environment that I was in, and thank God that I'm out of it. But being in college, doing something that I didn't want to do, being around people who were sad as well, being around people who were coping with drugs as well, being in an environment where it's just lust, drugs, and sadness, and no purpose, it brought me back to that spot that I was in, that I was hoping to get out of, that I did get out of through the gym. But I had to face that again. But this time, it was for a different reason. This time, I hated myself more internally, and I never looked better externally. This was when I was really just lifting and focusing on nutrition, and I'm still doing that now, but I'm really driving this to you guys because at this point I had a great physique. I was getting bigger, I was getting stronger, but it didn't matter because the person that I was becoming, the habits that I was developing, the development of myself was deteriorating because of the things that I was doing outside of the gym. And after you get to a point to where you've gotten a great physique, you love the way that you look. If you start to deteriorate in your self development, it's only a matter of time before it's over, man. And that's exactly what was happening to me. You know, I was literally losing my mind. I was smoking every single day. I got diagnosed with derealization and depersonalization disorder. I was taking lorazepam hydrochloride, which is an antipsychotic for people with bipolar depression and schizophrenia. I was losing my mind, and I would have these manic episodes, and I would burst out in anger, and I would be so upset, and I would get these violent thoughts, and I would just feel like I wasn't me and that I wasn't here. And I was actually genuinely losing my mind for a while. But once again, when I eventually got sober and got off the antipsychotics and, you know, started going after my purpose, which is helping you guys and serving the people around me and being that person that I needed. Once I started doing that, and once I started focusing more on developing in the gym and using the same principles that I learned in the gym to benefit my life outside of the gym as well. Once I was able to do that, is when everything started improving once again. And that in itself kind of goes to show that the gym saved me again. And you know, obviously, Jesus saved me. And I know a lot of you guys comment, hey, the gym can't save you, but I want you guys to understand this. We don't understand how God works, all right? And I genuinely feel like God put the gym in my life and allowed me to be introduced to the gym because he knew that it would ultimately bring me closer to him and also be that life raft that I needed. Because at the time, I didn't have a relationship with God, and the gym was the only thing that I can lean on, right? So, um, the gym saved me once again, man, when I started applying the principles, being more disciplined, and treating, you know, my life like it's a big set. And you know, the hard parts is just like if you're benching, man, you got one more rep left. You just got to grind it out. You know it'll be worth it once you get through it. Once I started thinking in that kind of way and really dialing in with my nutrition and my habits and waking up earlier, getting off drugs and all this stuff, everything started to come back together and I got everything back. But this time it was much better. Um, this time I was proud and I still am proud of the person that I was and am currently becoming. And the cherry on top is the physique. But I feel like I'm kind of rambling here, but yeah, man. The gym has always been very special to me. And it's always been deeper than just being big, being strong physically. It's about feeling strong and being proud of who I am, and allowing the gym to be that domino effect to where I push the domino over and it puts me in an upward spiral of being the most productive and the best version of myself that I can be. And you know, if it wasn't for the gym, obviously if it wasn't for God, but like at that point, if it wasn't for the gym, man, I would have killed myself without a doubt. And I wouldn't be here talking to you guys now. I would just be freaking dead. But it's kind of hard for me to talk about this now because everything's so different. Everything's so much better, and I know that life is worth living now, and I know that I'm happy to be alive. And it makes me sad to know that at a point in time I was just some kid who was ready to just end everything because I couldn't handle it. And then I was an older teenager who was about to do the same thing because I couldn't handle that. But I'm not gonna drag this video out too long, man. I know I've been talking to you guys' ears off for like 20 minutes now or something like that. But now I help people who are in the position that I was in. I help people get the confidence in the physique that they've always wanted and to develop themselves and solidify habits and just become the best versions of themselves through the gym. And that's why I coach now, and that's why it means so much to me. And obviously this is a different kind of video. I'm not giving out any gym tips or like advice, but if you resonated with this, the new year is here, and a lot of you guys want to improve yourself. A lot of you guys want to become the best version of you, right? And obviously my tone's a little bit different in this video because this topic is it's a little different for me to talk about, but neither here or there. My coaching application is in my bio. You can book a call with me and get something started for you. I offer one-on-one coaching. I just listed off everything that you'll benefit from, but obviously this video isn't about that. I just want you guys to know that I'm a person, right? Like when I set these videos up, I know you guys are on your phone, on your computer, whichever it is, and you're watching me through the screen. But right now I'm in a parking lot with my camera set up and I'm just talking to you guys. And I just want you to know that if you're experiencing something similar to what I did, you're not alone. And that even if you have nobody else around you, God is still with you. And yeah, man. Different kind of video, man. Yeah. Jim saved me, man. Thank God. I'm doing amazing now, and I'm working towards helping as many people as I possibly can. So, if you're ready to make that transformation, if you're ready to draw that line in the sand and get out the cycle that you've been in for so long, then book a freaking call with me, bro. And we'll get you some results. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's long, and I know it's not, like I said in the beginning, it's not tailored to people with very low attention spans. But if you watch this, man, I really appreciate you. And even if you don't book a call, even if we don't end up working together, your support alone means so much to me, man. And hope you guys can benefit from this in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, Jesus loves you. I love you guys too. Let's make 2025 a great year and actually make some progress. And so I'll hit you guys later. Yeah.